Hello, hello. Well, I've got a treat for you guys today. I have Eloho with me today, and we're going to have a really powerful conversation. Eloho's story is incredible. It's so inspiring. It's so motivating when you're going to hear her and her transformation of going from unheard personal brand, zero follows, no one knew her name or that she existed, to building an audience of over 70,000 people, running live events of 600 humans coming there to her events, and really building this amazing brand that's been voted by LinkedIn as one of the top branding voices. She's incredible. We're going to talk about mindset and what really will set you up for key success in your career or anything you want to achieve in life. Her story, how to overcome challenges or those days when you frankly have no strength or will to live. This is going to be inspiring, powerful. We're also going to talk about, of course, the personal branding and how you want to approach it, think about it, and think about your visibility. Aloha, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you here
Thank you
today.
so much. Thank you, Elena. It's so great to be on your podcast. I've been looking forward to this and I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. Well, let's start. Why don't you introduce yourself for someone who doesn't know you, maybe just first discovering you today?
Yeah. So, my name is Eloho Efemuai, as Elena said. I'm a personal brand strategist, a radio broadcaster, an award-winning radio broadcaster, a best-selling author, a speaker as well. And I help women, especially, but doesn't mean I don't work with other people, but especially women. I help women, creatives, female founders, and entrepreneurs to build authentic personal brands so that they can attract opportunities that they deserve. So
Hmm.
that's me in a nutshell. I run a radio station as well.
I know. Well, we'll talk
Yeah.
more about this, but of course, you have an incredible, like, since I've known you, you've been in my world, you've been a client of mine for a
Yes.
while, and really the type of achievements, what you were able to achieve is really incredible. I mean, just a few things. You've launched a radio show that has now over, what, 170,000
170.
listeners.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible. Of
Hmm.
course, you have launched your successful mastermind. You've launched a
Hmm.
successful group coaching program. You now
Yep.
have one-to-one offer, a membership. I mean, you name it, and also running live events where 600 people attend those, which is really incredible. But
Hmm.
let's take us back to maybe where you started. And,
Yeah.
in that moment in time when you didn't have the following, you didn't have an audience, and what was your motivation to start?
Hmm. That's such a good question because when people see me now, they think that, oh, I just achieved everything, from nowhere. But it's been a long time coming. And I remember back in the day when I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wasn't sure how I was going to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to create impact within my community. I didn't know how I was going to do that. And I wanted to run my own events, but I didn't know how to do that. And I remember back in the day, I used to feel like you rightly said, from zero, no followers, no emails, feeling unheard, unseen, to now, establishing this platform that has over 100 people listening weekly. So I remember at that time what I knew, and that's one thing I teach my clients right now. What is that thing you have in your hand and you can use? Sometimes we're always looking for something on the outside of us while we have all of the answers inside of us. So I remember at that time, I had all these big ideas, I had all these big dreams, but the thing I knew to do then was music. And I thought, you know what? Why don't you put together a concert? Because one, I was feeling isolated. Two, I wasn't sure how to get to my destination. But three, I knew I had a talent, a gift of bringing people together, which has also helped in my business as well. And so I started to put together concerts. But I soon quickly discovered that it wasn't just about the music. People were looking for a place where they felt included, where they felt like they belonged, where they felt that their voice mattered. And that gave me an idea. Okay, so I can help people amplify their voice using social media as well as a radio station. And so that's where it began. And after running the concerts for a few years, I decided that, you know what, I wanted to study digital marketing and social media because I realized that there was a need there. People were looking for a platform. People were looking for where they can amplify their message and their story. Social media is such a good tool. I can use that. And then creating this radio platform is such a good tool. People can, those who are musicians, singers can, you know, amplify their music. Those who are authors, those who are speakers, you know, can come on the radio station to share their message. And so that's where it began. But while I started all of that, I knew that I couldn't do it on my own. I needed coaching, I needed mentorship. So before I actually started the radio station, firstly, I did digital marketing, I did social media marketing, and then I got a coach and a mentor to guide me on the journey. So that's where it really began. And I always say that life is all about evolving. So you take that first step. And when you take that first step, a clarity comes, which is something I always tell my clients now. I think they can quote it anywhere. I always say that clarity comes from doing, clarity comes from taking action. So because I took action back in the day to bring people together, I then discovered that people just needed to amplify their voices. And in that process, I started social media management and social media coaching. And as I was doing that, I was like, you know what? I think what they need is a strategy, personal branding strategy. And so life just began to evolve from there. And there's still more to come. And then I'll tell you, because even as I take those steps, boom, you've got to do this next. And again, you know, so that's how the process has been for me. That's how I started the radio station, launched my business. I pivoted, I think it was after COVID, to personal brand strategy. And I just love being there because it helps me to go deeper with clients, not just, okay, let's create your content pillars, post on social media. No, but with personal branding, it helps me go deeper. It goes back to their mission, their big mission, their why. And based on that, when we uncover their why and their mission, we begin to amplify that through their content. So I love personal branding because it's not what people think it is. It's not just the key colors. It's deeper than that. It's uncovering what makes you unique, what sets you apart from every other person who probably is a coach or every other person who's an author. So we go deep. We really dive deep to uncover you and your why and your mission and all of that. We build a strategy around that, and then it comes through your content, and you go for all of the opportunities that you want. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Well, let's dive deeper into that because you're right. So many people have real misconceptions, misunderstanding what personal branding is, whether they need it, do they need it now? Can they just do they only need it when they, you know, become a really big business? So tell us about the kind of myths, misconceptions that people have around personal branding.
So I've heard all sorts. I don't need personal branding because I don't have anything to sell. I don't need personal branding because I am not an influencer. I don't need personal branding because I am not a celebrity. I've heard all sorts, you know. But I like to say personal branding, and like Jeff Bezos says, is what people say about you when you're not in a room. So people will always have an opinion about you. They will always have an opinion about the business that you do. So personal branding is being intentional about what you're telling people that you are and that you do, right? So if you say that you have to have a product first, before you build your personal branding, you are missing out on a whole lot of opportunities. I like to say that when a woman is pregnant for her baby, she doesn't wait till the baby is delivered before she starts to shop for her baby. She doesn't wait before, I mean, when a woman is pregnant, she's painting the room, getting everything that she needs. I liken that to personal branding. So before you even have a product to sell, you want to build trust. You want people to know who you are. You want them to resonate with your message so that when you have a product to sell, they're like, oh, I remember I saw so and so person talking about this. Boom, they go for it. So personal branding is getting yourself trusted, credible with the audience that you want to serve. And then you don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be an influencer to build your personal brand. Your personal brand is uncovering what makes you unique. It's, distinguishing yourself from every other, I'll say, competitor out there. And of course, you want certain people to know you, like you, and trust you for what you do. So you don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be an influencer. Even within your sphere, your niche, you can create such a strong, powerful brand that your name comes up when people are looking for someone like you. So these are some of the myths that I've been bursting. I've worked with a lot of clients who initially, when they came to me, they felt like, you know what, no, I don't need personal branding. I don't. Another thing is, people feel personal branding is shouting about your achievement. While there's a place for shouting about your achievement, because nobody markets you like you, right? Personal branding is not about shouting about your achievement. So there's one of my clients who came to me, and when she came initially, she was like, oh, she's a singer, but she had so much, so much abilities. And so through the process, we um, uncovered her. She's an engineer, one. She can teach, she can create courses. Now, I mean, she's running her own programs. But this particular client of mine didn't believe about shouting about her brilliance, because she felt, no, that would be me um that I think maybe she saw it as prideful or something, or that would be me, just trying to get attention for myself. I was like, no, 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 no. You can't be such a great expert. You can't be so good at what you do and have all of this brilliance inside of you and expect people to just find you. We've got to talk about you. We've got to talk about the value that you bring, the value that you offer your clients. They need to know you for what you do. And so little by little, she started to step into it. She's still a bit shy about, shouting about her brilliance. But through the process of helping her build her personal brand, we went from just a singer and a musician who was looking for visibility for her music. We've now gone on to her now creating programs. And in fact, her next cohort begins in January. Yeah. So you don't
Amazing.
you don't you don't have to be a celebrity, you don't have to be an influencer, you don't have to wait to have a product, you don't have to feel like I don't want to bring too much attention to myself. You need the visibility because you can be fantastic, you can be amazing at what you do, but if no one knows that you are there, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And I think so many women need to hear it. I think men, I'm sure there's some men who struggle with it, but other as well. But I think mostly women. It's just we are kind of brought up, we're taught not to be the center of attention, not to take up the space in the room. You're not being modest. Like modesty is being considered, kind of being
Yeah,
humble, being
yeah.
modest is a quality. But when you are a CEO, when you run your own business, modesty should be completely eradicated, erased, because
I know.
really, And I think, we know that, especially in my work, and this is the thing where women are so modest about their talents. Well, it's just this. Well, no, 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 it's actually not just. You're running a really
Yeah,
successful
yeah.
business or charity or
I know.
place.
I know because even I struggled with that. I struggled with being modest, and I know you, Elena, and a few other of my coaches, like you, do you realize how amazing you are? Because I want to tone it down. I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm learning to shout about my brilliance in such a way that it connects to the right people. Not shouting my brilliance out of pride, but no, shouting my brilliance to say to a woman who's like me, who has struggled with all the demons, to say to her that if I can achieve, then so can you, right?
Yes.
So and it's just been amazing seeing women just step into their brilliance, step into their authority. I have another client, Valerie, who when she first came to me, she had so many brilliant ideas. She wanted to start her own charity. She wanted to run her own programs and her courses. And we went through the process, of defining her what sets her apart, her message. And she had such a powerful, powerful, strong message that she could have chosen not to share, right? Yes, she could have chosen not to share that message, but we started to amplify that message. And even when she started speaking up, creating the brand around her story and her message, she got lots of hate messages. You shouldn't be doing this. People like us don't talk about this. But today, guess what? She's at UN speaking about this same issue because she focused on building her brand around that. I mean, I can't keep up with her anymore because the other day she sends me videos and pictures. She was in Buckingham Palace. She was speaking with the Queen because she focused on her story and her message and started to amplify it through her programs, through her courses, through her workshops. So that's some of the things that personal branding can do for us when we decide not to be modest, when we decide not to be silent about our story and our messages.
Yes, I love that. Let's talk about the power of coaching. I know, of course, I'm interested in your thoughts because, of course, a lot of people will be hearing this and maybe they have invested in themselves in the past. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they're wondering what is the point? Or maybe they invested in the past and got burnt or didn't get, as much as support as they wanted to, or for whatever is happening. I'm sure you hear a lot of those stories. What would you like? What has been your
Okay.
experience of that?
That's such a good question because before I met Elena, guys, Elena is amazing. By the way, she hasn't asked me to do this, but before I met Elena, I had tried coaches, several coaching programs. I'd been on those programs and something was always missing, and I felt that probably it was me. I was like, oh, maybe you're not the one, giving it your all. But then I'm like, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and I'm not seeing results until I met Elena. And when I met Elena, I had given up on coaching or coaches rather. But I think the important thing that you did for me was, first of all, believing in me. Yeah, that's the first thing. Secondly, believing in my business. Thirdly, making time for me. You don't find that in the coaching world. I remember there was one coach who, before I signed up to her program, she will be in my inbox. She will message me. She will tell me how brilliant I was, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, because to be honest, everyone is looking for a coach that values them. Everyone is looking for a coach that sees them. So I got roped into that. And as soon as I signed up, boom, that was gone. Like, what's happening here? But when I met Elena, all of that changed because sometimes Elena will be the one chasing me to even, you know, I think you need to book a call. And that totally transformed everything for me. And then when we had to work on my signature talk, Elena held my hand, even went as far as editing my Canva templates. Who does that? So when you find a coach like Elena, you don't want to let go of them because not many coaches are like that. And the thing is, Elena does that for all her clients, that's hand holding. And I think that's what people need.
Yeah, I
And then
totally agree.
you hold them to a point where like, okay, now you have grown, you can you can get out of this nest and go and be your amazing and brilliant self. So for anyone who's considering coaching, look for Elena or someone like Elena who will hold your hand through the process.
No, that's wonderful. And it's been such a, I mean, clearly you are amazing as well. But yeah, it's been such an incredible, joyful experience. But I totally agree. I think a lot of people will know what to do, or maybe have some concept of understanding. Maybe they've read a book, maybe they've researched, but actually, when it comes to implementation, it's a
Mm-hmm.
completely different beast in itself. And it's like a beast in its own right, because you can conceptually understand, like even like weight loss or something of that, you can understand the concept of it, but somehow actually getting results in your own life might be so challenging.
Yeah, yeah,
And when you have someone who can walk that path with you, guide you along the way, and really help you, no, no, you do this, you do
yes.
this. This is where you're right. This is how
Yeah.
you do it. Then you're like, okay, actually, this is really doable, and I can really
Mhm.
implement it. And I'm
Yeah.
certainly very passionate about that.
Yeah, it's that accountability, actually. Yeah, it's that accountability. Because, like you rightly said, you can read all of the books, but nothing changes until you implement. And how do you implement when you have someone who is looking out for you, who's watching your back, who's telling you, no, that you should have done it this way, or yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. And running your own business can also be a lonely experience. I'm sure you experience
Very,
that with
very,
your own clients. It
very,
can be a
very.
lonely experience. You're in your
Mhm.
own head. You're too close to your own stuff, which
Yeah.
especially with things like personal brand, you're like, well, I don't know what to talk about. Like just
Mhm.
me. Like I
Mhm.
think I am doing the personal brand. But
Yeah.
actually, when you have someone like you who comes in and says, no, actually, you're not talking about the most important thing you're actually most passionate about, like
Yeah.
with you, Valerie, and with other clients, that there needs to be a cornerstone of
Mhm.
themselves.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's like we can't see our own nose without a mirror.
Mm.
And this
Mm.
is where you have someone who's backing you up, who's supporting you, who's really giving you that support is so powerful.
Yeah, yeah. Support is really, really powerful. And that's what I help my clients do now. I handhold them. I mean, I've been running my group program now for 2 years, even. Yeah, 2 years. Yeah. And I said to them, hey guys, you've grown, you know. Because it gets to that point where, okay, I've held your hands for a while. Now I need to see you hold other people's hands, you know? So I said to them, we're wrapping up Evolve as it's where right now, and then it's Evolve 2.0, where you are going to be taking bigger actions, and just going all out with your message, with your personal brand, so that you can attract your own audience. And then it's a ripple effect. So support is so, so important. I love to support my clients. I love to hold their hands. I mean, no question is silly for me. Sometimes I like, but you should have known that. But like, well, Eloho, somebody helped you with that. So I love to just be that support and help them build.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're such an example of really growing your own visibility. Like before we started recording this, we just looked back in your year, and actually what an
I
incredible year it has
know.
been.
Wow.
You have really, I remember sitting down when we met in the beginning of January, and you kind of outlined your goals. And when we look back now, you have put a tick next to
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah,
single
yeah,
one of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, when I look and say you've done over 2 to 3 speaking engagements, big,
Every month.
important speaking engagement every single month. You've
Mhm.
supported some incredible charities, and
Yeah,
really the idea of giving back, I know is so important to you, and really supporting communities, supporting charities is so key. And you're really doing that. And I think this is such an example for your clients that actually, whatever their goals are, is there's a path to getting it done
there
through
is, yeah,
support.
there is a path. I mean, the people that I work with, they're all at different levels and at different stages and have different goals and different visions. So there's someone I was speaking to a couple of days ago who wants to join my program, and she is a fashion designer. Fashion is everything she's always loved. I mean, she worked in corporate for a while, but she resigned from corporate to chase after her passion. Now she wants to translate that into thought leadership. She wants to go after, because she believes she has that. And so the question I asked her was, I know you love fashion, but why? Why fashion? And then she goes back in time to tell me how at work, when she gets into work and she sees maybe someone's hair is just not in the right place, she wants to fix it. Or someone's tie, she always wanted to fix that. And she became known for that person at work, even though her parents, were into fashion. But for her, it was just helping people look good so that they can confidently show up. So I told her, that's it. So for you, that's the root. That's the way to build your brand. It's not just you love fashion, yes. You love to make people look good, but why do you love to make people look good? So that they can confidently show up, so that they can be the amazing, say, for instance, your boss is going to speak at an event and you tidy them up. They go there feeling confident, and that's what you're trying to achieve. She was like, wow, I didn't see it that way. I said, yes, that's it. Because, sometimes we just come up with these big goals and dreams. I want to be this. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to earn 6 figures. I want to do that. But why do you want to do that? When you understand why you want to do that, why you're passionate about that, it helps you. It just sets you apart, and it helps you craft your message in such a way that it connects you with the right people. Is it Simon Sinek that says that people buy why you do what you do, not necessarily what you do? So everybody has their different roots. So that was the fashion designer. There's Valerie, who's into charity. There's Moshola, who is into creativity, unleashing your creativity and helping people to reflect so that they can retire early. Everybody has their roots. You just need to find that space for you and take that journey.
I love that. I love that. I love that so much. And I know some people listening to this, they're wondering, what is it? How can they work with Eloho? What is it? What are the different containers you have open and thinking about 2025?
Okay.
If someone
Yeah.
wants to work with you, what can they, I know you have potential some visibility opportunities. What is that path for people could look
Okay.
like?
All right. So quite a few things. I'm relaunching my group program, Evolve 2.0. That's the first place people can work with me. Come on that container. I also have a 6 months mastermind. Evolve 2.0 is a group membership. So it's a year long, however you want to stay. But I have the mastermind, which is 6 months. I also have another program, Evolve 8 weeks program. And then there's the VIP days. But I'm excited. I'm going to do something that I've not done before, and is a visibility opportunity. I've run the radio station for 7 years from scratch. Nobody knew about it, built the audience over the years, even got a license to be able to broadcast on DAB in Edinburgh and Inverclyde now. And it's a big deal to get a DAB license. So I've been able to build that
And
through
how
the
many
years.
listeners is that? How many listeners on
So
average?
we have 117 weekly listeners now to the radio station. So I'm excited to create this visibility package for anyone who's listening, either that be a coach, an author, um, an entrepreneur, a small business, a charity, we're creating that container for visibility on Heartsong Live platform. So where you get interviewed by me, and you should listen to my interviews. My interviews are fab. Even people who have come and say, oh, I love how you tell our stories. So you get an interview with me, you get an ad running on the station, you get access to our email list and our social media platforms, and then you have the interview to use as sound bites. We can create that for you where you can take out to your own community. So I'm excited about launching that visibility program. If you buy if you come on one of my programs, the personal brand coaching and the strategy, the one-on-one, then you can get this visibility package for free. But if you feel like, oh, I've already built my personal brand, Eloho, I'm just looking for the visibility, then this will be right for you.
Yeah, and of course, it also gives them access to your audience.
Yes,
You
yes.
have, what is it, 70,000
Yes, yes.
fans.
Yeah, so
Um,
I've got
Tell us
that.
more about that.
So I've got over almost 70,000 pounds across my Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X right now. And you have access to that. This is just my personal brand, not even for the radio, because the radio also has its audience. So you have access to these audiences combined.
Yeah, this is amazing. Just having a platform like that where you can really, and I think what was powerful about this, when you do this personal branding and you do this work and you do this actually, where you should go, where you're leading, what's your leading message, what's unique about you, what's powerful about you, and then giving people this opportunity to really showcase that brand on your radio show, which is on a DAB, who's listened will listen by so many people, and also in front of 70,000 people to really be interviewed by you, be showcased their talents.
Yeah.
I think that's so powerful, which is actually so many business owners really need.
Mm-hmm.
They might have an amazing business already. They might have an already product already, but they just missing this bit. They just want to be, I wish I was known by more people. I
Yeah.
wish
Yeah.
my genius was known by more people. I wish I can get in front of a bigger audience. And I think
Yeah.
the fact that you're really opening the door, something you haven't done before for the first time,
I
it really
know.
showcases amazing business owners. I think it's an incredible opportunity because the reality is it took you, how long did it take you to build all of that? Well, it's been 7 years,
It's
right?
been
Or
7 years, and I was building even before we went live. So
that's
a few
right.
years, a few
So
years now.
and
Yeah.
someone can really fast track and really get access to 7 years worth of really
Yeah.
audience building without them having to do that is really powerful.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So,
So,
so powerful. Let's
yeah.
talk about mindset because, of course, that's not, I think, a lot of people, which I think is so strong in what you do, is really talk about mindset, how you think about perseverance. What do you
Uh-huh.
think is really key ingredients of your success?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mindset is so so key, and I don't know where I would have been if I hadn't cultivated the right mindset, because as entrepreneurs, as business people, you start a project or you start a business. And because I'm a mom, I always like to tell stories about mom and children. You start a business and it's like a woman who's just had her baby. Everyone is supporting her that first 6 weeks or something. Oh, we're so excited about this new baby. Gifts are coming. People are celebrating. And then 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months, 3 months after, no one is there. You are left with this baby. And that's where a lot of women go into postnatal depression and all of that. I always liken that to business. When you start your business, when you write your book, when you start your podcast, it's exciting. People are supporting yeah, go. And then a few weeks down the line, it's like, oh, let's move on to the next. What do you do then? Do you give up on that baby? You would never give up on your baby. You would nurture your baby yourself. You will get the help that you need to sustain that baby. It's the same thing when you start your business. And if you have not cultivated the right mindset, you will give up. You will throw it away. Maybe this is not for me. And so I'm not doing this. There's a book that I read, As a Man Thinketh. And that book likens our mind to a garden, right? Your garden, I mean, we all tend our gardens weekly, monthly, bi-monthly. You either get a gardener to do it or you do it yourself. You take out the weeds, right? Those weeds will always be there, but you cultivate your garden. Our minds are like that garden. When you're beginning to struggle in your business, when you're beginning to feel like, should I have done this? When all those limiting beliefs start to come, when you begin to feel like an imposter in your own business, those are weeds. And just like you would tend your garden, you need to tend the garden of your mind and replace those. Oh, I've been there, Elena. And that's why I'm able to talk like this, because at a time, all of those weeds were in my head and I couldn't move forward. I couldn't progress in my career, in my business, because there was always one limiting belief. But I had to cultivate the right mindset. Affirmations helped me a lot. Listening to podcasts, reading books, being in a supportive environment, being in a community such as yours, Elena, where people are challenging you, it helped. We can't do life alone. Running a
Mm.
business, being an entrepreneur is lonely. And so you will get all of those thoughts, all those negative beliefs, but you can help cultivate the right mindset by reading, by affirming yourself, by even, I mean, one of the things that I do now is I go back and read testimonials, feedback from my clients, even from people who I've just done work with. It gives me that boost to carry on.
That's
So
incredible.
cultivating the right mindset is so important. And you've got to know that you're in this for the long haul. When I started the radio station, like I said, the first year, boom, it was exciting. And then a year after, every single person left. And at that point, you start to feel, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I said this. Maybe I said that. But you know what? It's not about you. It's about them and their own goals. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't make you a bad person. You just need to understand that probably this is not for them.
That's so true.
And then realizing that I'm in this for the long haul. If
Mm.
nobody comes with me, I will go. And that's what has kept me 7 years on, almost 8 years. And now I have so many people. Why? Because I remained consistent to the mission, the purpose, the vision of this business. So other people are seeing you. And you know how they talk about trust is built via consistency or yeah. So when you're consistent, people are watching.
Yeah,
Your audience is watching. Will
so
you just
true.
give up at? So cultivating a right mindset is good. Reading, affirmations, being in a supportive community, and just developing resilience for when those times will come.
Yeah. I love what you're saying so much. And it's so true. And it's a testament of trust, credibility, is that ability to just consistently do it. Imagine a business, like we were a business and then it will disappear. And we see this online a lot. There'll be someone who's shouting the loudest.
I know.
It's like golden balloons. But guess what? I mean, we've seen it so many times. And then, 6 months down the line, they're gone,
Yep.
disappeared, went
Yep.
quiet, burnt out, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
gone in a minute. So it really is. You also see that I see this a lot, especially as you see the iterations of businesses and people
Yeah.
going through the cycles. They'll be like having one great month. They're saying, "Oh, I'm so successful," and then 2 months later, I'm burning my business down to the ground. Oh, now I'm launching this thing, and now I'm burning it down to
Yeah.
the ground
Yeah.
again. And you think, well, what kind of impression does that give to people? It means that it just
Mm.
doesn't give a stability,
Yep,
consistency, and
yep, yep,
trust.
yep, yep.
And I think this is what you're talking about so important and why people trust you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And trust your business, trust your service. Of course, the level of integrity and honesty that you can always expect from all of your products and all of your services is unmatched. But also this level of consistency, this level of trust, that level of openness, where you what you see is what you get, is
Yeah,
really it's just key. I think it's so powerful. That's how brands are really built.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and that has really, really helped me. And for anyone listening, I know that it's not an easy journey. It can be easy. We're not saying that it's easy, but with the right environment, the right tools, you're able to build that credibility and trust with your audience. Some months will be great, some months will be fantastic. Other months will be like, what am I doing? Why did I get here? But
And that's normal. That's normal.
exactly, it's normal. It's normal. And so, but going back again to your why, and also being in a conducive environment where you can also share with your community members, with your coaches, to say, this is where I'm at, this is how I'm feeling. And it would amaze you. They also are dealing with their struggles.
Always. And I think anyone who says they don't, that means they're not running their business or they
Exactly.
everyone who's running their business at any level is going to have weeks and days and setbacks, things not going right, people missing their deadlines, people, suppliers, contracts,
Yep,
whoever
yep,
is
yep.
letting you down. There will
Chasing
be
late
set.
invoices.
Right. It's going to happen. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be clients that you wanted, the contracts you wanted that didn't come through. There's going to be things that you wish didn't quite.
Yeah,
And I think I certainly totally resonate with what you're saying. I think in those moments, sometimes you got to feel disappointed. Allow yourself to feel your feelings,
that's it.
feel it,
That's it.
understand it, have compassion for it, but
Mhm.
then look at what you have and be grateful. And because I think this is what we tend to do, especially in those moments, we just focus so much of our attention on what we missed or what wasn't didn't go right. But
Yeah,
we stop looking, actually, let's look at 90% of things that actually are great and
yeah,
amazing. And can we just focus on what is
yeah,
going
yeah,
well and be grateful for that? And just feel our feelings and then start the next day.
yeah. Yeah, I always do that to myself because and on my radio show, I tell them the way it is. I'm like, I'm talking to you now, but I'm also going through it. So don't think like, oh yeah. So I always when I get to that point where I begin to struggle in the business and I'm grumbling and I'm like, "Ugh," I remind myself what you focus on grows. So be grateful for what you have. So then I bring out my phone and just say, okay, I'm thankful for this. And then when you begin to express gratitude, like, oh wow, that actually happened. Yes. Oh wow. And it just changes your perspective about things. And that's why I'm a big advocate for gratitude in your business, in anything that you are involved in life. Be grateful, because gratitude changes your perspective, and it also um the things that look small, when you begin to be grateful for them, you realize how mighty that they are. So, yes, gratitude is really, really key when we're going through those tough moments. And when you focus on gratitude, it just expands. You take your mind off what you're going through and you're focusing on, oh, this actually is great. And then, it just changes everything. But if you decide to focus on the challenges, they only get bigger. I might as well use that energy to focus on what has what has happened, what is happening presently. And another thing I'm teaching my clients and the people I work with is look for the lessons in the challenging situation because there's so much you can learn from that process, rather than, oh, why me? Why now? Yes, you're allowed to do all that. You're allowed to cry if you must. But when you finish, wipe your tears and like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I make that work for me? Also, another thing I'm doing is being grateful in advance. Being grateful. Where do I want my business to be? What kind of clients do I want to work with? Who do I want to resonate? Start to express gratitude for that. And you find out they begin to gravitate towards you.
Oh,
So,
I love that so much because it's true. And the truth is about manifestation, whether you like it or not, we're manifesting all the
of
time. It's
course.
just whether you are in your head of your manifestation or you're manifesting the challenges where you're focusing on. So it's happening either way. It is happening. It's like compounding effect is always happening. It's either compounding towards your goals and towards your happiness, towards the outcomes you want, or it's compounding towards things that you actually want to avoid. I adore that, Eloho. You are an absolute brilliance. You are such a light to my life, to I know the women in community in PowerHouse CEO. You are just such an incredible light for your listeners, for your audience, for people that interact with you. You are just so full of love, so full of kindness, so full of support. And I just know that our listeners today got a glimpse of your genius and how much warmth and love that you have for everyone in your family, in your life. And just consider you also raising children,
I know.
husbands, the families. So I know there's so much going on in your life, but you always you find in time for people, and that's incredible. So I want to celebrate you. You
Thank
are
you
truly,
so
your
much.
achievements are incredible.
Thank
What
you.
you've really accomplished is powerful, and it is a really testament of how possible it is for everyone out there, and you're such an example of what is possible for women. So grateful for you being here
Thank
today. Let's
you
leave
for
people
having
with
me.
few things where they can reach out, where can they find you, where they can learn more about your business.
Okay, so I'm across all social media platforms as Eloho Efemuai. Efemuai spelled Efemuai. You can catch me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, X. I'm trying to build that relationship back with X. And Threads and TikTok once in a while I'm there, but I promise in 2025 I'm going to do more with TikTok and X. So you can find me across all platforms. My website is elohoefemuai.co.uk. The radio station website is heartsonglive.co.uk. Every Monday to Thursday morning from about 7 a.m., you can find me broadcasting live. So if you want to see me live, you can tune in to heartsongliveradio.co.uk. In the new year, we're going to start a new segment, the business spotlight, where we're going to be spotlighting business, shining a light on businesses. We'll communicate that day to you. I mean, it'll be up everywhere on my socials, and you can find that. Yeah. So
Amazing. And we'll leave all the links in the show notes. So go and check them out and follow Eloho everywhere. And before we go, what would you tell to someone who is listening to this or maybe been in my world and thinking about joining PowerHouse CEO program or one of my programs, but they're kind of on the fence. They're not sure. They're like, oh, I'm not sure whether it's going to work.
yeah.
They maybe have those fears that
Mhm.
people have and maybe that you had before
Yeah.
we start working together. What would you tell them?
I would tell them go for it. Elena is your girl. She is your cheerleader. And the community she's building, oh my goodness, the women are so, so, so supportive. I don't know how she finds all of us, but there's such support in that community. And like I said somewhere during the interview, Elena will hold your hands. She will not leave you until she sees you succeed. And she has so many clients, so making each of her clients feel really, really special. And that's what we need in these times where there's so many I don't want to use the word fake, I'm not going to use it, but in these times where you can't really trust people, you can trust Elena. I was on the fence, but I am so glad I made that investment in myself with a learner. So if you're on the fence, just go for it. A trial will convince you, as they say.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you for your time. And as I say, you're absolutely brilliant. Brilliant what you do. You touch so many people's lives. You make them better. And even if they listen to you sing, which is incredible, speak on stage, or hear you on the radio, or being so lucky, be part of your inner world inside of your programs, it really is a transformative experience. Thank you, Aloha. Lovely
Thank
to
you
have you on the
so
show.
much. Thank you, Elena. Thanks.